Thank you, Kosta, for taking a part in our interview series, SaaS Growth Academy. It's nice to have you here, and we hope we can learn much from you. So, do you have like any beginning words?
No, thanks for having me. I'm excited to hopefully provide as much value as I possibly can.
Okay, can you tell us a bit about your SaaS founding story, about your first and your second SaaS, just like a short introduction?
Yeah, so I'll definitely make it quick. First of all, I'm an entrepreneur before anything. Most notably, I started my first SaaS company with my partner Raza 12 years ago. We're both non coders, non technical people. We were able to bootstrap that company from nothing to over 20 plus team members around the world, fully remote. Generated over 20 million in revenue over the time, and last year we got acquired in a successful exit. And currently I am growing my second SaaS company called jobtable.com.
Okay, can you tell us more about how did you get idea for both your first and your second SaaS?
Yeah, first one, we were two young, hungry kids, right? Entrepreneurs. We would literally meet up every Friday thinking of how to make $1 million. Like, that was literally what we would do. Um, and at the time, my partner, he got his real estate license. Web4Realty was providing tools to real estate agents. So he got his real estate license. He was helping a broker in the area with her website. And he just noticed it to be outdated, overpriced. And then one of these Friday meetings where we brainstorm ideas, this was just one of these ideas that came to mind. We were thinking, you know what, why don't we do this for cheaper price? And just did like back of the napkin math. And that was kind of it. Like there was no other reason. That was kind of like our aha idea. That's kind of the thing that stuck. And I'm thankful it did stick with something in the software space, because I can't imagine just a cleaner business than SaaS and software. So it was literally as simple as that. We had the idea, it stuck, and we started getting to work on it.
Okay, and how did you validate your SaaS idea before committing to whole development process?
Yeah, well, that kind of goes back to what's my current business philosophy, is that I would only go into a business that's very competitive and almost like saturated. So when there's a lot of other competitors doing very similar things, to me, like now you've already validated the idea. You can now skip the whole product market fit validation, because there's other companies doing it. There's other customers paying for a similar service. It's just a matter of finding your niche, getting into your pocket, and getting your slice of the pie. And a small slice of a big pie is generally a pretty good business.
Yeah, that makes sense. But since you said you skipped the whole product market fit and you entered a really saturated market, how did you just go into the market? Which marketing channels did you use? What was the best performing marketing channel for you?
Yeah, so the best performing marketing channel for us at the beginning and was to the very end was outbound sales. I single-handedly closed the first 500 paying clients through cold calling and email marketing. So just a lot of coming back from a bootstrap perspective, right? We didn't have money to hire a marketer, pay for ads. So the only thing, literally the only option we had was outbound and cold calling, because it cost $0, just a lot of time and effort, and that's all we had to contribute was a lot of effort, a lot of time. And we just grinded through, obviously learned a lot, refined the outbound process and learned a lot. But 12 years in, we never even spent $1 on paid ads. So we've always stuck with outbound.
Yeah, yeah. And now, I mean, before you exited, that was like the whole strategy all along. Did you change anything? Did you make some
Oh, of
adjustments?
course. Yeah. We obviously refined the process and made it a lot more sophisticated with how we did outbound and different, whether it be cold calling, email, SMS. It's very important to be very granular in your outbound marketing in terms of who you're targeting and the right segments of people. I think that's the biggest mistake people make when doing outbound is they're targeting too broad of an audience. So it's very important to niche down on a segment of your audience and craft good messaging, something that's thoughtful. It's very hard. Outbound today is a lot harder than it was 10 years ago when we were starting out, because human beings have evolved and changed. Right, our attention spans are a lot shorter. We're constantly being bombarded with content and streams of information, marketing being thrown at us every day. We've almost become numb to it. So all these factors to capture someone's attention that doesn't know you for 2 seconds is now harder than ever. So it's not easy, but with that said, it's not impossible. You just have to be a lot more thoughtful on the actual messaging and how you communicate, and all that. So
Yeah, that makes sense. So you went outbound sales all the way, right?
all the way, yeah.
Yeah.
And then that naturally, turned into a lot of inbound and organic. You start, um, your brand starts getting recognized, so that leads to a lot of inbound and referrals. But yeah, that all stemmed from just getting the word out through outbound.
Okay, okay. And since you said you closed the first 500 clients all by yourself, how many clients, paying clients, customers did you have when you exited?
Several thousand.
Okay, okay. And what was the biggest challenge going from zero to the first 1,000 customers?
A good question. I think the biggest challenge is just maintaining the grit and determination and just fighting through a lot of the rejection and the lows, and learning sales. I think sales is by far the most important skill set that any new founder needs to do well at, especially if you're bootstrapped, because that's the only source of funding for your company is revenue through clients. How do you get revenue? You sell. So like that's the most important thing. So yeah, I'd say just maintaining the positive mindset, never giving up, just having that grit and determination. Because again, when you're doing sales, you're relying on yourself to bring in revenue. It's very easy to get discouraged. It's very easy to get discouraged. So yeah, just maintaining the grittiness.
Okay, and what about now that you have all that experience? You started your second SaaS. Uh, do you have troubles like that and challenges like that, or are the challenges now much different
It's
than
the
they
same, starting and doing a similar playbook this time around. Um, it's very easy to see. I'm sure you've heard the stat: 93% of businesses fail in the first year.
were?
And it's going through it again, starting a new business. It's very easy. You can easily see why that stat holds true, because back to my point, it's very easy to start a business. You start doing your sales process that you think is going to work. You have this idea in your head, and then you start doing it. Doesn't work out as planned. There's a lot of rejection. You constantly have to tweak and adjust what you're doing. So just having that determination, that grittiness, that toughness, just to fight through and evolve and tweak and learn and keep adjusting. That takes a lot. That takes a lot. And I can see if you don't have the right mindset, you're going to give up. You're going to give up too soon. So yeah, a lot of the similarities. It's a little nostalgic doing it again, but yeah, it's all about the grittiness and fighting through.
Okay, okay. And since it doesn't make sense to ask you what would you do if you were to start over, since you already started over, uh, what are you doing differently now with your second SaaS than you did with your first one?
Oh, a lot of things. I mean, starting with just over the years, you learn so much about like the operations and the processes of running a business and how to make things as efficient as possible. Because a lot of things behind the scenes, right? Your sales process, your support process, how you communicate with customers, with your team members, so all these things combined, like, obviously you learn a lot doing it the first time around. So from day one, doing it again, like the foundation is a lot cleaner, a lot better. So you can kind of hit the ground running a lot faster because you have the backbone, the foundation established.
Yeah. And which advice would you give to aspiring SaaS founders starting their SaaS today with your knowledge?
Um, Simply, I alluded to it already. You got to have grittiness, but I also have another philosophy which I stand by, which is a no plan B's attitude. What does that mean, right? No plan B's. To me, it means a plan B is a plan for failure. When you have a backup plan, once you have a plan B, you've instilled a grain of doubt in your head, and once that grain of doubt is in your head, you've planned for failure. Now your chances of failure have now exponentially increased. So when you have a no plan B's attitude, when you decide, like, you know what, I believe in this idea, I believe in this business, I'm going to dedicate, I'm going to do it and figure it out. There's no failure. Like failure should not even be in your head. Like you got to have that determination to fight through everything and battle the highs, battle the lows, and keep going. Just having that no plan B's mentality, and it's easier said than done. But I think if you can figure that out and establish that strong mentality, which is one of these things that sound very cliche, but it's very true. You're going to be poised for success for sure.
And since you said no plan B, when did you know, okay, this is it, this is the winner idea, we have it, we just need to grind and get to the end point? Or did you have like, did you make some adjustments on the way to your to your first SaaS? Did you go with the initial idea or did you just went with the flow and change things on the way?
The idea from day one, once we decided, like, yeah, there's something here, like, again, something just stuck with this idea. And the plan B started from day one. Like once we invested the first dollar, there's no turning back. It was just the mentality we had. There's failure was not an option. We put everything into it, and then, yeah, we just made it work.
Okay, and if you had to choose one thing, what made your SaaS a success?
If I keep saying the same thing, but it starts with the mentality of the team, just building the right team, making sure you all have that same no lose attitude, no plan B's attitude, and just grinding your way through. I mean, to me, that is by far the most important thing, is just believing in yourself, believing in what you're doing, having the ability to constantly learn and evolve, and not be so closed off from learning and from other people and new ideas, but just fighting through everything. Business is not easy, right? It's a challenge, and the saying, the strong survive, and that holds true with business and entrepreneurship.
Yeah, and how did you, on your journey, fight churning customers? How did you manage churn?
Great question. I think that's a pain point for almost any SaaS company in the world, is churn. But I think it starts with customer success and customer support. Just having amazing service. Like, there's so many examples of times where customers would be so upset, like we messed something up. But the fact, if you can respond to that customer or pick up the phone and actually communicate with them, even if you don't have a solution, the fact that you're acknowledging that problem right away automatically would ease that client's concerns. So taking support and customer success very seriously, to me, is one of the most important things with battling churn, and just keeping the communication lines open with your clients.
Okay, yeah, and would you have like to give your 2 cents to all the SaaS founders and ones that are aspiring to be SaaS founders? What would be your like final thoughts, something to leave them with?
I'll repeat it again. No plan Bs, right? You started a business for a reason. You believed in it. no plan Bs. You got to have that attitude and that mindset. If you strongly believe in what you're doing, you're going to figure it out. You're going to make it work. There should be no excuse why you can't, especially back to what I said at the beginning. If there's other companies doing similar businesses in doing it successfully, that's further validation that if another human being can do it, there's literally zero excuse why you can't do it, right? Both humans breathe the same air. The market's there. Again, it's just a matter of getting your slice of the pie. So again, no plan B's attitude. Figure it out. Don't give up.
Okay. Thank you, Costa, for taking your time to participate in the interview. I'm sure our community will benefit from the knowledge and experience you share with us. I sure loved listening to your answers, and I'm sure that I learned a lot. So thank you again for taking your time, and I wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You too.